Every gilded cage is built with walls of comfort. The only question is what you're paying for them.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into some pretty intense source material, a video that claims the entire New Age movement is actually part of a massive, intricate conspiracy for global control. Okay, so let's get right into it. The source material we're looking at alleges a hidden agenda, connecting the New Age movement with a plan for a so-called New World Order. The video presents this whole web of secret societies, spiritual doctrines, and political ambitions, all supposedly pointing toward a single, unified goal. So the argument starts by taking two movements that, on the surface, look like they have nothing to do with each other. One is deeply spiritual, the other is super political. But the core claim is that they are, in fact, two sides of the very same coin. So here's the connection the source makes. It argues the New Age movement's purpose isn't just about personal enlightenment. Instead, it's framed as the necessary groundwork to create a unified global consciousness, which would make the political goal of a new world order seem not just okay, but actually desirable to everybody. Now, to build this case, the source material doesn't just stick to the present day. It actually traces the origins of this whole alleged conspiracy way back to a 19th century occult organization that it claims laid all the groundwork. So where did this all start? The video points to one key figure as the architect of this modern spiritual movement, a woman named Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. The story goes that Blavatsky spent about a decade traveling the world, just soaking up all this esoteric and occult knowledge. After that, she founded the Theosophical Society. Her writings, which the source claims were channeled from ascended masters, well, they became the foundational texts for what would eventually become the modern New Age movement. Now, on the surface, these goals sound pretty noble, right? A universal brotherhood, studying science and religion. But according to the video, this was all just a cover. The source alleges that, behind the scenes, Theosophy was deeply connected with other secret societies, like the Freemasons, and that its true purpose was to unite all of humanity under a new, single spiritual system. Okay, let's fast forward more than a century. The source now connects these old foundational ideas to a piece of modern media, arguing it's a key piece of propaganda for a whole new generation. And that piece of media is the 2007 film Zeitgeist. Now, the video we're analyzing argues that this film, which millions saw online, was no grassroots documentary. It claims it was actually a carefully crafted tool to spread theosophical ideas to a new audience, basically priming them for the ultimate goals. According to the source, the film's strategy was pretty clear. First, you discredit Christianity by claiming Jesus is just a copy of older sun gods. Then, you introduce the theosophical idea that we're leaving the age of Pisces, which Jesus represents, and entering the age of Aquarius. And the source says the proof is right there in the film's own transcript, which allegedly cites Blavatsky and other occultists as sources. So if the goal is a whole new spiritual system for a new age, you've got to ask a pretty important question. Who's supposed to lead it? Well, the video explains that Blavatsky's successors, people like Alice Bailey, really pushed this idea of a coming world teacher. This figure, named Maitreya, is supposed to emerge and lead this new one-world system once everyone is spiritually ready for it. And this, according to the source, is the strategic endgame. By framing Maitreya as the person every major religion has been waiting for, the Christ, the Messiah, the fifth Buddha, the Imam Mahdi, the alleged plan is to unify all faiths under a single leader, essentially creating a one-world religion. The source then points to a modern proponent for this figure, a man named Benjamin Creme. It highlights claims from his organization that Maitreya has already appeared to high-level world leaders who are supposedly aware of the plan, but just can't talk about it publicly yet. Now we get to what the source material presents as the most shocking and secretive part of this whole ideology, its core theological belief. The video argues that Theosophy's foundational texts completely flip the biblical story on its head. In this view, Lucifer isn't the villain. He's the liberator of humanity. He's the one who gave mankind the gift of intellect to free itself from an unjust God and eventually become gods themselves. And the source connects this historical doctrine directly to modern New Age leaders like David Spangler. It claims the final step for humanity in this plan is to accept what's called a Luciferic initiation. basically a moment where you choose to shed your old beliefs and embrace this new path to godhood. So finally, the source video doesn't just end with analysis. It concludes with a pretty stark warning and a call to action based on its interpretation of all this evidence. The video alleges that behind the message of unity and love, New Age writings have a much darker, intolerant side for anyone who won't conform. It cites figures like Alice Bailey, claiming their vision for a great spiritual shift includes the elimination of those who resist this evolution. And this brings us to the crucial point for the video's creator. They believe this whole alleged conspiracy isn't just some modern political scheme. For them, it is the ancient spiritual battle described in biblical prophecy, playing out right now, with Maitreya positioned to be the prophesied Antichrist. So, what do you make of all this? Is it a hidden blueprint for global control, painstakingly planned over centuries? Or is it a fringe theory, just connecting unrelated dots to create a pattern? The source material we've just walked through is absolutely certain in its conclusions. But, as it suggests itself, the final takeaway is to do your own research.